Okay, so we are ready for the next step in our tree assignment that we're doing. So we have some lines to add here. So the next thing we're going to do, we've drawn out the tree, is we're actually going to add just some lines to indicate where the leaves of the tree would be. Okay, so we're going to sketch these in, just using kind of curvy, kind of cloudy-like shape here. Just sketch those in lightly. You can always go back in and make adjustments, which you know I'm a big fan of. Okay, so once you've decided on your lines for that and you're fairly happy with them and you've cleaned them up, the next step is putting in the land or ground below the tree. Okay, so we're going to move the paper up so you can see the bottom of my page. Okay, so we are going to start with, we're going to do several layers here. So we're going to do one, comes over, and if we continued that line down, it would come over to here. Then we're going to do one coming up here. Okay. And then we're going to do another one right here. And we're going to come in and add one over here. So I'm just kind of imagining if I continued that line through there. And then I'm going to add a line right there. And we're going to go in and we're going to start adding in. Might add one more right here. We're going to add in just a few lines. I'm going to curve these gently. So I skipped one section here. Added a few more. You can too if you want. It's your choice. You don't have to have the exact same number as me. And clean that line up. Do some over in this section. And then I'm going to let it be. Okay? So the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be getting my crayons and pulling out my chart that I created as one of the first steps for this assignment to use as a resource as I work on this assignment. So I'm going to pause this for a second and get my chart for us. Okay, so for this next step, you're going to want to grab your chart and you're going to want to grab the colors that we used to create our chart. So each of these colors are the colors that we have going down the warm and the cool side using crayons. Right now we're just going to focus on the step with crayon. Okay, so our artwork is basically going to be divided into a section where we're going to use cool colors and a section where we use warm colors. Now it's going to be your choice which section you do in warm colors and which section you do in cool colors. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use, I'm still trying to decide which I prefer. I think I'm going to use warm colors in my tree to give it more of that fall feel. And I'm going to use cool colors on my ground. So what I'm going to do, remember I've used my chart to help remind me what color goes where and belongs in which category. And I've pulled my colors of crayons, and right now I'm going to set aside my cool colors because I'm going to start with my warm colors first. And what I'm going to do is I am going to be using those warm colors for my crayons to do the first step in this assignment. So the first thing you're going to decide is what color crayon you want to use that's a warm color, if you're using warm colors, to outline your tree. If you want the leaves to be in cool colors, so if we think about all of this space being the leaves, if you want your leaves to be in cool colors, you're going to have to do this process using cool colors. I want mine in the warm colors, so I'm using warm colors. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of the warm colors, and it's your choice which warm color you choose, and I'm going to outline the tree and the area for the leaves. So you're just going to watch where I'm doing this. I am going to press pretty firmly on my paper because I want to create a nice waxy barrier for when I'm using my watercolors. So I'm just going to go ahead and start right down here at the bottom, and I'm actually turning my paper, and you're going to take your time, work nice and slow and neatly. You're going to outline your tree using the crayon you've selected. So I work pretty slowly to begin with. I'll probably speed the video up and it's going to look like I'm working really fast, but in reality, I work pretty slowly to do this. Make sure you're putting lots of pressure and getting a really solid, bold line. So I'm going to turn my paper again and continue to outline my tree. And you should turn your paper as you work because you're going to have better success from different angles. Okay, so I have just finished outlining the tree using a warm color because remember, I'm going to make sure that this area back here, that my leaves, if you will, are going to be a nice warm, all the warm colors, and my landscape down here is going to be done using cool colors. So I'm outlining the tree with a warm color. Again, it's your choice which warm color you choose to use. I'm going to come down here and also outline this curve we added for the leaves. And then in a second, we are going to switch and start using some cool colors for the bottom. Okay. So we're gonna go back to our chart and I've used red violet, which we talked about. You know, there could be an argument to put it in a different category, but for this assignment, we're going to keep it in the category for warm colors. I want my leaves to be warm, so I outlined everything using a warm color. If you want your leaves to be cool colors, you can do that, but then all of this would be outlined in a cool color. So you might choose to do blue-green or blue-violet or one of the cool colors for that. Okay, so now we're going to come down here, and because my tree is using a warm color, my ground's going to be the opposite. It's going to be done using cool colors. So I'm going to pick out the cool colors I want to use. And for this one, you can switch between different colors if you want. I'm going to work with blue-green for this. So you'll notice I turned my paper again. And again, I do encourage you to shift your paper around as you work. I don't always keep my paper static or in one spot. So again, you're going to need to press very firmly with your crayon for this to work appropriately. You need a nice, dark, thick, waxy line. Take your time with your crayon. Really put some effort into this. Okay, so I finished outlining my ground using a cool color. And when we come back in the next videos, we'll be using our watercolors. But for now, we're going to stop here, okay? And we're going to keep this in a safe spot until we're ready for the next step. And I'll provide a picture of what this looks like in just a minute.